the Biz Gone Social podcast. We help entrepreneurs navigate how to get known, get customers, and get the edge over their competition. Here is your host, Lorraine Duncan.
So I'm really stoked today to have someone I met. She was speaking at an event I was at, and she was amazing, and I learned so much from her, Kim Kasparian. And I'm going to pretty much let her do some of the talking, and maybe I'll do a little bit of the talking, but I just was amazed by her business. But the reason I brought her to this call today is because I'm on social media a lot, and every time I'm on social media a lot, Kim is on social media a lot. And what that told me is that she's serious about her business, but not only is she serious about her business, she's consistent. So Kim, tell us a little bit about yourself and your business and how you help those who work with you. And also welcome too, by the way.
Yes, thank you. I'm excited to be here. So thank you for those kudos and mutual admiration reflections. So I am Kim Kasparian. I am the owner and creator of Success Genie coaching company. Been a business coach for 20 years this year. And I help business owners grow to 7 figures while putting peace in their spirit, joy in their heart, profit in their pocket, all at the same time. And helping them through the stages of growth from their first 6 to their second 7-figure revenue leap.
And who are some of the people that you work with? It's name some professions that you work with, not people's names. But.
Well, I started out, my first clients were financial planners and banks that I can tell you who they were and who they are. So banking institutions, financial, I've worked with realtors. I basically get drawn to service-based businesses. And I've worked with companies, if you're local Connecticut, is the UI, Ceridian, Covidian, smaller companies that are more entrepreneurial that you may not know, but always working with the revenue makers, the decision makers, the visionary, the dream makers. So, and working with a lot of new business owners, me, myself, and I models who want to grow and make that big girl or guy paycheck. And at the same time, they want the freedom, the control, and the freedom. How many of you can relate to that? You want to have freedom, but you want to be in control. Right. Or you want to grow to a steady, nice, fat 6-figure paycheck, but you're not sure me, myself, and I want any employees. And then for those that do, there's a whole mind shift that goes, usually those of us who started the business, we started out as me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I do not always know how to share well with others and make space in the sandbox. Right. When you get to that level and you want to grow, we help you start making those decisions and those adjustments. But our basic message at every level of growth is success is your birthright. You just need to learn how to believe that and receive that every day.
Nice. That's so important. And the thing that always makes me think is when I've heard you say that before, success is your birthright. Yes. And I think it's awesome that you say that. And the other thing is if I always feel personally that if at a certain time in your life, if you don't feel so successful, if you just simply move forward, that you can get where you need to get and be successful. So it's all a matter of looking at what success means to you as an individual.
Exactly. Yeah. So we talk a lot, when our clients come on board, they're always successful. They're just not happy with their level of success, or the success didn't turn out the way they thought it should. So we always start with a very basic definition that we allow people to customize once they learn the whole philosophy. Success is what puts peace in your spirit, joy in your heart, and profit in your pocket. And a lot of people have come to me and our team, they're making money. They could maybe buy and sell me 20 times, but they don't have peace and joy about what they're doing.
Nice.
So if money was the only measure of success, we'd all be having fun. And if brains were enough, we'd all be bigger than Bill Gates. So there's some steps, and we do our best to make them simple. And the main message that when I'm speaking to you, like being an invited guest, is that remember that success is something you are. It's something you receive, not you achieve. So if you kind of just let that soak in on whatever level, it usually resets the direction for people to do what you said. Just move forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I think of success, and I'm going to bring this back to consistency here, but as I said before, I think of you as a very successful entrepreneur, and it's because I see you all the time. And it's like, there's so many people that, are successful, but I don't see them. And I feel like that one of the reasons you're so successful is because you have a discipline of consistency. You are on social media all the time. I get your emails all the time. So, which I feel is very important as especially an entrepreneur that owns their own business. You need to be out there. You need to be seen, because it's kind of like that whole thing. Just because you built a store and put a sign that you're open doesn't mean people are going to come. Right. So you have to do that. And so consistency has been my subject all month. And so I want to ask you just one question. What has been your secret to staying consistent on social media?
You want me to be cheeky?
Be whatever you want.
The secret to me being consistent is called planning and automation.
Nice.
Anybody who knows me behind the scenes know I have more issues and tissues, more drama than a soap opera. The other Kim K's reality show is nothing compared to what happens every day here in the Genie Bottle. And life is what happens when you are busy making plans. However, there's a beautiful thing called planning and automation that allows you to be consistent, be seen, be visible, even though you're cleaning up the mess behind you. So it does take planning and strategy. I think one of the missteps I'm seeing in the marketplace is everyone's getting seduced into the latest tactic platform, which are great. And if we live 6 more months, there's going to be all new ones. So it's not about, and I get asked, which platform should I be on? I don't know. I don't know you well enough to tell you that. However, I'll ask you, what is your strategy? And that'll tell me if you should be anywhere at all. So the short answer is planning and automation.
Right. And you're so right. I mean, everybody who knows me knows I'm all about strategy. I just don't. It's not like if I start working with someone and we're going to be doing a social media marketing plan, I'm not going to just post something, that has to do, like, say you are a real estate agent. I'm not going to post things about food or a quote, because that makes no sense. And I'm not going to post things randomly, because randomly you have to think strategically when it comes to posting. I always tell some of my clients that, your social media is fine, but you just never asked anybody to do anything. Not even to connect with you, Right.
Well, you had two awesome, I think it was September. It's relationship.
Yes.
Social media. The key word is social. And if you're just posting all the time, like a pitch, or what I've got from Paul Higgins, he's in Australia, he's a LinkedIn expert. Like, can I take your time so you can buy me a cup of coffee? Right before, like, you meet me and go, hey, you want to buy from me? I say the pitch will get you ditched.
Yep.
And just posting how great you are, how great your clients are doing, you need to get to know people as a human being. I say you need to have to learn to authentically connect, communicate strategically the value that means something to them, and then be able to make consistent offers in that order. If you just remember that, and you have a higher level strategy, because the platforms may change. Like, I know Facebook changed the whole system. Google changes the algorithm, like I changed my hair color. So that can throw everyone off. But if you have a global strategy and approach, and I know, like, I was not a social media fan at all. I'm a nose to nose, knees to knees girl until a car accident in 2018 changed my life. And just now am I finally feeling visible, and then COVID happened. Like, I wanted to be visible, that I could be visible. I got introduced to social media, and since I couldn't really talk that well, I could communicate through social media. And now depending on where you are in the world, there is no nose to nose, knees to knees events, or not as many as they used to be. And I'm all about relationship. So when I realized that I can still use my tried and true 36-year strategy, yes, I did start selling when I was 2. That my strategy has not changed, and old school is really the new school. And I'm just doing it on a new platform called social media. I was like, oh, this could be fun. I didn't change. I just adapted.
Right.
And there were some new tools that I never had when it was nose to nose, knees to knees, like automation, like Canva, like, oh, I'm not a graphic artist. I can just go into Facebook and pick a background. Oh, thank you. But again, if you don't know where you're going, how do we get there? If you don't know who you are and what you're selling, how can we invite anybody?
It's interesting you say that, because I remember when I first started out, you may not know this, and many of my audience out there may not know this, but I actually started out as a business coach. And I realized very quickly as I grew my business with social media that I really liked social media a lot better than I liked doing business coaching. Although I did like the one-on-one time that I had with the business coaching. And I realized I could still do that, because the bottom line is most of the people that I deal with, it's not their product or their service that's bad. It's their mindset that's bad.
Yes.
And so interestingly enough, that's how I landed here doing this whole social media scene. But I still get to do what I love to do, is help people. And that's always what I wanted to do.
That was your why. Yeah. The fact that the vehicle change didn't make you any less successful, but it brought you more joy.
Yes. For some reason, I love social media. I don't know why.
God bless that you do.
But, it's funny. Most people my age do not like social media.
I know. It took well, you know what? For introverts, it's the best thing since sliced bread. It's like dream come true.
Yep.
Introverts love people too, just not so close. For extroverts, like nose to nose girls like me, it took a little getting used to.
Yeah. And that's what's so hard is sometimes, like I said to you earlier when we were just chatting before, is like, I feel like I'm just talking to a screen sometimes. And so it's really important to me when I do get a little bit of engagement, I do get, somebody that buys a program or does, or wants to meet with me for coffee or.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no. And Zoom coffee chats are the bomb.
Yeah, they are.
But if you want, I'll give you a little tip with that, because I had the same issue, like talking to seeing my reflection back. If you want, we have time later, I'll give you a tip, and then maybe the audience wants it too. There's a little trick to that. Even it's like I said, old school is the new school. Everything you ever learned about marketing has not changed.
True. So because you've mentioned it and you opened the can of worms there, give us the tip.
So here's the tip, whether you're on a live, you're writing a post, you're doing something on LinkedIn, anything you're doing in your mind, whether it's the written word or you're on a live looking in the camera, you need to imagine you're speaking to one person, a specific person. If in business, and even if in business, I say, talk to them like you're talking to your best friend who you think the world of, and you need to tell them some hard truth, okay? Or you're telling them what they need to hear right now, and you're not holding it back. And when you speak to the camera, you imagine, when I teach, my clients have to create their own ideal client avatar. For those of us who remember Weird Science, the movie Weird Science, Kelly LeBrock, when they made the live doll, became to life. The 2 kids, you have to watch the movie, but they wanted to make a live girl, and they're computer geeks, and they're making all the specifications from head to toe, exactly what they wanted. And, she appeared in the doorway. But the same thing, you have to know your ideal client even before you meet them, like your bestie. And that's one of the things that people don't take the time to do. They just want to talk to everybody. They want to sell to everybody. They can help anyone. And when you when you talk to everybody, nobody hears you. When you speak to one person, the world hears you.
It's true.
So there's times that I've done lives where I'm talking to the replay, but in my mind, my eyes are focused, like I'm having a conversation with you right now, Lorraine. I'm looking into the camera, and I see your face, and I just talk from my heart to you, to my ideal client. And you tell them what you think they need to hear right now, even if it hurts. Because sometimes we have to give them some hard truth. Sometimes we need to give them love. Sometimes we have to give them encouragement. And that's where strategy comes in. We have to give them a taste of what success looks like. But if it's a skill set that takes time to perfect, and everyone stinks at it the first time. But once you do it often enough, it changes your communication. Your authenticity comes out. Your communication gets clearer and more compelling, and you will find people engaging more with you.
And more importantly, too, you connect with people because of my message and probably your message. You've connected with people that you became lifelong friends. Just an example of that. I know this is kind of off topic a little bit, but I was in a mastermind group that I connected with a group of people on Facebook, ended up in a mastermind group. And these two people that were in the mastermind, one of the people, I should say, actually was driving through Connecticut to go to Canada and literally connected with me, and we had dinner together. He had just gotten married.
Yeah.
So those were to me, that's what it's all about, is really, it is the relationship and the connection.
Always, in all ways.
And people forget that, especially, by the way, on LinkedIn. But that's a pet peeve of mine.
Let's not go there. If I get pitched one more time on LinkedIn, I'm going to pitch a fit. Yeah. No, well, the thing is, someone's teaching. See, this is a sad thing. Someone's actually getting good money to teach that crap.
Yes. And they are a lot of money, actually. They're getting, I saw a program the other day that taught just that. I think it was $19.97.
Well, you know what? Back in the day, we called it dialing the phone book. And,
right.
if you want to dial a lot,
yeah.
I mean, thank God LinkedIn is global. So if you have a global business, good for you. But that's a great way to poison your pond real quick.
Oh, yeah. And it changes right away. If you start doing that, it changes right away. I know, because I made that mistake in the beginning when I started using LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. But anyways, not that my mistake wasn't that I was asking people to buy something, but it was that I was giving them long paragraphs about myself, which was what I was taught. And then I realized very quickly that was not working.
Always make it about them.
Yeah. And that's what I do now. So it's just, and it changed that. What you just said right now is so key. Always. It's kind of like
and the key, since you opened the door to that one, here's the deal. Searching for the title that you serve is not enough to even take 5 seconds of my time.
Right.
You need to learn a little bit more about whoever you're reaching out to. Just because they have the moniker that you serve does not mean they need your services. So you need to know a little bit more about them and why you have the right to take their time to ask them to buy you a cup of coffee.
Right.
I've gotten to oh, you're a coach. We help people get appointments. I'm like, did I tell you I need help getting appointments? Do you know anything about me? Do you know how I get clients? They'll offer me something that's so not part of my business strategy. And I'm like, because you can end up being offensive. What makes you think I have that problem? Did you ask me? Did you do any research about my company?
Well, I've gotten approached by social media companies, and I'm thinking, do you not know what I do?
Well, the thing is they don't, or they look at, we help coaches. Well, good for you. You don't even know what type of coach I am. So if you're going to reach out to people, which is okay, if you think you can add value, I want you to take my time. I want you to reach out to me, but you better have a qualifier or know something other than my moniker name.
Right.
And why you think not just because I'm a coach or whatever, I'm in the Milford zip code, why specifically you thought of me? Because if you know your audience, I happen to know most of my people on LinkedIn, I know them. I can easily say, Lorraine, I'm reaching out to you because I know you've been working on this or that, and you're always looking for great ways to do X, Y, Z. I think I have something that you might be interested in. Can we connect and can we talk about it? That's authentic.
And I would say yes for that. And
right?
there you go.
Or even if you don't know them, hey, I'm looking to interview just to get feedback. Can I take 15 minutes of your time and ask you some questions because I'm really trying to serve this population and you seem to have it all figured out. Could I respectfully ask, and I'd be happy to do the same for you? That is an authentic way to say, I'd like to get to know you, or why do I want to get to know you?
Right.
That makes all the difference. If you want to be a hit and run driver on social media, good luck.
A good friend of mine who actually, I shouldn't say a good friend of mine, an acquaintance of mine who I was in a mastermind with, Melanie Dodaro, she's the LinkedIn lady. She calls them sales pitchers. And
I call them order takers. Yeah.
Like, pictures, like meeting those people.
Yeah, I know. Roll enough spaghetti, something's going to stick.
It's funny.
You know what I get sad for them, but now I've had it happen to me so much. I'm getting desensitive because I really feel bad for them. Any decision maker, the last thing we want to deal with is an order taker, especially in if you come from a very competitive market. Like I'm a coach. When I started, no one knew what a coach was. Now everyone and their brother, they got a certificate if they're a coach. What makes the coaches stand out from the other is who's really positioning and operating as a solution provider and who's just looking for the next order. And that could be for any industry, and you've met them all. When someone's really trying to help you solve a problem versus someone who's just trying to get an order to fill a quota.
Oh, yeah.
And those on social media who are using social media to pitch and get orders, and who's really trying to establish themselves as the go-to expert to solve that specific problem. And 9 times out of 10, people are going to pick the solution provider. And the order taker can make money, but they're working way much harder, and they're going through a lot more numbers.
I'm going to bring this back to consistency.
Right.
Because I have so many clients that struggle with consistency.
Yeah.
And in fact, because a lot of times people will buy like my DIY services. And so the bottom line is that one of the main things is like, how are you posting every day? How are you doing this? So you're a coach. Okay. And I've worked with coaches. And what would you say to me if I came to you and said, look, I'm really struggling with consistency? And that's not just when you're thinking that when I'm talking to you now, it's just
consistency
social media. It's everything. It's like, I can't get my newsletter out every week. I can't even do a follow-up call.
I can't show up to my own, take a walk or get to the gym every day. I know.
Exactly.
Okay.
So tell me how you would coach them, how you would, what would you tell them? What would you tell them?
So consistency is not your problem is the first thing I would tell you. Commitment is. Well, why would you say that, Kim? Because you don't have a strategy. Because without a strategy, commitment doesn't exist. And without commitment, there is no consistency. So when you know who you are, what you do, why you do it, you have clarity. You have purpose. When you have purpose, you want to fulfill that purpose. So either the process or you figure one out real quick. Just think about something you love to do. You don't sit there and you wake up and I can't wait to go do that. Even if you don't know what you're doing, you'll figure it out because you love to do that. Whether it be anything, just think about what you love to do that you don't have to be told twice to get up out of bed to do. Oh no, I'm just up and ready. I'm actually up 2 hours early. I'm ready to go. Why? Because you want that. And it's either fun for you or it's got a with them, what's in it for me value so hot, you'll walk over your mama to get it. So if you're having a consistency problem, I would say to you, no, you have a why problem. Because I would say to you, I'm not showing up to the gym, or I'm not showing up to my social media, or I can't get my newsletter out. My question would be why do we need that? And you should not be, I don't want you to should on yourself. Well, I should. There is no shoulding. That's very messy. It's not fun. So the only reason why you want to do it is because it puts peace in your spirit or joy in your heart. If it's not fun, we know it's not getting done. Now, there are some things that I need to do that are not necessarily fun, but they need to get done. So I need to go figure out one of two things. Either I need to make it fun, or I need to go before I show up to that thing. I need to go and have some fun somewhere else and have enough fun where I come and go, okay, I'm so happy I did that fun thing that I can show up to this ugly frog thing. If you are not connected to the why, commitment doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It's not your fault. It's not like you're lazy or you're not committed. Oh, I'm committed. No, you're not connected to your or you don't have a big enough why. So why is equal to strategy. Because if you have a big enough why, you'll figure out how to do it.
Totally agree with you. I feel like I was going to ask you the question, if you could stress one thing, what would it be? And I feel like you said kind of two things. You talked about automation and planning, and you talked a little bit about being committed. So, but if there was just one thing you could stress out of either or, what would you think is more important? Or is it totally?
The one thing I would tell you to stress before you start figuring out the how, before you start going down the road of confusion and shiny objects, focus on your what and your why.
Nice.
Because sometimes there's always a third alternative. And if it's not fun, it's not getting done. I'm just telling you that's a fact. If it's not fun, it's not getting done. And if it could never be fun for you, okay, there's some things that'll never be fun for me. However, then your strategy before you show up to that activity is go do something that you know is really fun, gorge on it, get an overflowing of feeling of like, oh my God, I've had so much fun. I can't get one more fun thing in, because that'll create the motivation and the ability to show up to the thing you don't like and get it done really fast. That I've proven over and over again in over 20 years of coaching. You can try to muscle the task up the hill and spend hours or if not days, or trust yourself and go do something totally not related. So fun, like, oh, I'm so filled up with fun. I can't do one more. I'm so sorry. And you show up with that energy to the thing you don't like, and you know you don't like it, and it gets done in an hour and a half.
That is good.
Honest to God, Lorraine, and if you're listening, that's my secret strategy. I just gave it to you.
And I think it will work and will work for my audience out there too. So thank you so much. I just really appreciate you joining me. And I think that, as always, there's so much. I mean, everybody just listening to you can see that you have so much experience, and I know you probably connected with so many people in my audience. So I want to ask you, do you have anything that you would like to offer my audience today?
The best way to get to know me and get invited to all my secret spaces. I have a Facebook group and other things. But the best way to get to know me and for me to get to know you and be on the list to take advantage of all my exciting offers is to come on sign up for your weekly Jeannie's Gems, which I think, Lorraine, that's what you were referring to, how you hear from me every week. It's at the website successisyourbirthright.com. Successisyourbirthright.com. And you will get an intro to my 11 ways to succeed. You'll also get invitations to join our Facebook group when we do free challenges and free workshops. But so if you liked what I had to say and you go, I want to learn more about this, Miss Jeannie, come be part of our community. Successisyourbirthright.com.
Awesome. And I will also put those links when the podcast gets released. I'll put them out. And I want to thank you again for joining me. And until next week, I'll see you soon.
Thanks for listening to the Biz Gone Social podcast. Find us on Instagram at Biz Gone Social for extra tips. Check back weekly for new episodes. Until next time, stay social.